Hey everyone, so today I'm going to talk to you about how to heal your fear. And this is directly from my book, The Five Self Love Languages. So let's get into it. How do we heal our fears? Fear is an emotion that is deeply rooted in our survival instincts. It protects us from perceived or real danger. So, for trauma survivors, fear is particularly complex because it stems from early experiences of neglect, abuse, instability, living in chaos, living with fear. So, learning to self parent your fear, manage and handle your fear is a powerful act of self love. It involves nurturing yourself in moments of vulnerability and uncertainty. So, by understanding where your fear comes from, listening to what your fear is telling you, and developing strategies to maintain and move forward despite fear is how you overcome fear, is how you reclaim your sense of safety, strength, autonomy, progress, growth. When you handle fear, you feel like you're living, right? So, where does fear come from? Fear often comes from brain's automatic response to perceived threats. It's a survival mechanism that's instilled in us from birth, from nature, to designed to protect us, right? So fear is not necessarily our enemy, right? But for trauma survivors, fear response is often heightened as your brain has been conditioned to expect danger. Childhood trauma can alter the way your nervous system and your brain processes fear, and it makes you more prone to the fight, flight, freeze, fawn responses, traumatic responses in response to fear. So, even long after the traumatic event, your brain may still continue to act like the threat is still present and may lead to chronic anxiety and hypervigilance or just nervousness, anxiety, unexplained nightmares, right? So many trauma survivors carry an underlying pervasive sense of fear from their childhood. And this is rooted in experiences where they felt unsafe, unseen, unloved, unheard, unwanted, when they felt their safety was threatened. So fear just becomes ingrained in our life and in our body. Fear lives in our body, it lives in our nervous system, it influences our relationships, career, self image, self esteem, safety in the world, how much we shrink and hide, or how expanded, how fully we can live. Because if you're full of fear, you're not living fully. If you're letting fear control you, dictate your life, you're not really living completely and fully. So, what does fear tell us? What is your fear telling you? While fear is overwhelming, it's often a messenger that's trying to communicate something important. It signals unmet needs, unresolved wounds. So instead of seeing fear as your enemy, I want you to look at it as an emotion that signals your unmet needs, your unresolved wounds. Instead of looking at as an enemy, I want you to look at it as an emotion that's trying to protect you, even if the methods are outdated or maladaptive. The key to self parenting your fear is learning to listen to it with compassion rather than judgment. Ask yourself, what is this fear trying to tell me? Does this reflect a real or present danger, or is this rooted in past trauma? Fear might be telling you that you need more safety, connection, boundaries, right? It could be signaling you, it's an emotion, right? Fear is an emotion that could be signaling you that you're stepping into unknown, you're doing new big things, you need reassurance or you need support. By exploring these questions, by facing your fear and asking it those questions, what are you trying to tell me? You begin to unravel the true nature of your fear and what it is asking for. So, how do you self parent your fear? Accept your fear. Accepting your fear means acknowledging its presence without trying to push it away or to suppress it. Many trauma survivors were taught to ignore their feelings and emotions, especially fear. They were told to just buckle up and face life, which can lead to disconnect between mind and body. If your body is scared, if your mind is so fearful and your body is frozen, obviously you're in fear. However, when you accept your fear, you create a space for it to exist without letting that fear control you. When you say, "Yes, I'm fearful of this," you it stops controlling you. When you shine light on your fear and you handle it with compassion with the steps that about to tell you now. So the number one, practice attunement to your emotions. Practice mindful awareness of your fear. Begin to notice your fear without judgment. Take a moment to breathe and observe how fear manifests in your body. Where do you feel it? Is it in your chest? Is it in your stomach? Is it in your throat? By tuning into your physical sensations, you can become more aware of how fear operates in your body. So you'll see, all right, so I'm in this situation, right? What is attunement to your fears means? You say, okay, I'm in this situation. I start feeling nervousness or tingling or butterflies or anxiety in my body. Where do I feel it? Do I feel it in my chest? Do I feel it in my belly? What is this fear trying to protect me from? What is this fear trying to tell me? And if you don't know, it's okay, but what you can do is acknowledge the emotion, the feelings of fear in your body. Watch the story that your mind is telling you that starts those thoughts. Watch those thoughts, the fearful thoughts when they start coming in, and how it affects your body. And then you acknowledge, the second step is to acknowledge your fear with compassion. Instead of berating yourself for feeling afraid, approach your fear with kindness and humanity. You can say to yourself, it's okay to feel afraid. My fear is valid. I can handle it. By offering yourself compassion, you create a safe internal space where fear can be heard and understood. But if you keep running from your fear, if you don't acknowledge your fear, if you shut down when you feel the fear, and you don't work with your fear, it's going to take over, and you will be always be that scared person who's not able to live their life completely. So first you're going to attune yourself to the feelings of fear. What is a fearful story in my mind? Where do I feel the fear in my body? Then you're going to acknowledge your fear with compassion. And then number three, you're going to name your fear. Sometimes simply naming your fear can diminish its power. Say things like, I'm afraid of rejection. I'm scared of failure. I am scared of how other people are behaving, or someone's behavior is scary to me, right? So naming your fear helps you externalize the fear and point to where it's at rather than internalizing it and as if it's a personal flaw. Rather than blending in with your fear, you name it and you say, this is why I am scared, right? And you don't shame yourself, you don't judge yourself. It is what it is. You're present to the fear. So naming your fear allows you to see it as one aspect of your life experience, not the entirety of who you are. You don't blend in with your fear. Now, let me tell you, how do you self parent your fear and move forward in life? There is no human being that has not felt fear, right? Everybody feels fear, but people who are successful and grow in life, they are able to self parent their fear and move forward. So, even though it is so important to acknowledge your fear, the next step is to move forward. Don't let fear paralyze you. Use it as a guide to help you grow. What does that mean? Self parenting your fear means you develop tools to manage it effectively. You know your fears so well that when you're not scared, you can develop a plan to effectively manage it. And that's the secret in healing, that you know your triggers so well. You know how a trigger upsets your mind, body, and soul, and then what brings you back home. What helps you manage that difficult emotion? That's the whole secret to healing, right? Healing journey. So, how do you manage your fear? Number one, you ground yourself. When fear overwhelms you, grounding techniques can bring you back to the present moment, bring you back to your body, such as deep breathing, placing your feet on the ground, and also imagining, visualizing your body taking root and hold into earth, and just positioning yourself and grounding yourself, cleansing your negative energy, giving and surrendering your fear to Mother Nature, right? Or focusing on something comforting, drinking tea, anything that calms and soothes your nervous system and stabilizes your nervous system. That's the first step you need to do. Not engage with the story of fear first, but ground yourself and take care of your body first. Then, number two, you challenge that fear. You challenge those fearful thoughts. Fear is often fueled by catastrophic thinking. When you notice fear-based thinking coming up, you think, is this thought based on fact or is this thought based on fear? You can also challenge your fear by asking, what's the worst that could happen? And how would I handle it? Have I done? And the best way to really diminish your fear is look at the evidence of the past. Have I done things that prove to me that I can handle anything that comes my way, right? So give your fear evidence to show it that you're able to handle whatever life throws your way. And when you examine your thoughts logically, you can reduce their emotional intensity. When you question your fear, when you question your fear, when you talk to it, when you shed light on it, when you name it, when you externalize it, when you say, I'm fearful because of this outside thing, and I can ground myself in all these other good things I have, and I can soothe my body, and I can look at fear in a very truly for what it is, rather than blending in with it and becoming fearful as my whole entire personality. I will take small steps. So that's the third actionable step to handle your fear, is to take small steps. You don't have to conquer all your fears all at once. Take small, manageable steps, even if they scare you. If you're afraid of public speaking, start by taking small steps of speaking in front of trusted, safe people. Gradually increase your exposure. Allow yourself to build confidence along the way. Allow yourself to make mistakes. Allow yourself to grow. Allow yourself to handle life, right? And then, of course, seek support, seek mentors, coaches, read books that show you how to navigate fear, right? And then self parent with courage and trust. So when you're fearful, you will do those four things, right? You will ground yourself, you will name the fear, you will challenge the thought, you will externalize and put it outside, you will not blend in with the fear, you will take small steps, right? And then when this is when you are feeling fear, but when you are doing the work, this is how you will prepare to handle fear. The antidote. So, how do you self parent your fear with courage and trust especially when life is just when you're doing the work, right? When you're doing the work and when you have the time to work on your fear, you will you will cultivate self trust. That's the first thing that I want you to do. So the antidote to fear is not the absence of fear, but presence of courage and trust. Courage is the willingness to move forward despite your fear. And trust is the belief that you can handle whatever comes your way. You will find a way. Your God will help you, your higher self will help you, and you will be able to handle it. So, for trauma survivors, building trust in yourself can be challenging. Building trust in other people can be challenging, but it is crucial for your healing. So, cultivate self trust even though you might doubt your ability to cope with challenges or make decisions. Building self trust means proving to yourself through small, consistent actions that you can handle difficult emotions and situations. Each time you face a fear and you come out on the other side, your self trust grows. Number two, develop a relationship with your higher self, connecting to your higher self, connecting to a wise, loving, unafraid part of you, that God part of you, the higher self, the higher power. So connect to something bigger than yourself, and that will help you ground into faith and courage. And when you have a relationship with your higher self, that's a very powerful way of combating fear, because you don't feel like you're alone or you're lost or you don't know what to do, because your higher self or connection and or faith with the in the universe will give you that strength and the power to find hope, find guidance yourself, right? So universe will show you the way when you connect with the universe and ask for guidance. Then shift from fear to love. Fear and love cannot coexist. When fear arises, ask yourself, how can I bring more love into this situation? Whether it's self love, love for others, love for life itself, shifting your focus to love, right? When you're scared, shifting your focus to love will help you diminish fear's grip on you. So, for example, if you're in a situation with an authority figure and they're scaring you, even though there's nothing to be scared of, they're scaring you just by being authority. Bring love into that relationship, love of the common things that you're working on with the authority figure, love for yourself, love for your growth, right? So change your focus from being so scared of that person to how can you cultivate love, friendship, that type of energy, right? Again, so another way you can self parent your fear is to truly heal your fear, you have to self parent the parts of yourself, self parent or reparent. You have to parent the parts of yourself that are still afraid and frozen and stuck in fear. So you have to reparent yourself, which means giving yourself the love, safety, security, sorry, that may have been absent in your childhood. So it's about really, to handle fear, the most important thing is to create an internal safe environment where your fear can be acknowledged and heard and soothed, and you can see guidance rather than suppressed, ignored, or mocked, right? So creating a safe space for your fear is so important. Not allowing fear to come up without judgment, then naming the fear, right? Imagine a nurturing space where your inner child can express their fear. This fear could be in your mind or it could be in a physical space, right? So you have to have a safe space. It could be in your mind, it could be a physical space where you allow your fear to surface and you know that you are safe, right? So have space where you can be safe. Internal safe space to be safe, and external space to be safe. And that will help you regulate through fear. Be the loving parent you needed. When fear arises, talk to yourself as a loving parent would. Don't blend in with the fear and say, "Oh my gosh, yes, I am." Say that I'm so scared right now, but also say, I know you're so scared right now, but I am here for you. So become your loving parent that you need in times of fear. You feel this fear because you felt unsafe when difficult situations came and there was no one to guide you. So now you tell your inner child that now, when these fearful, difficult situations come, you are not alone. I'm here to guide you. I'm here to love on you. I'm here to protect you. So, offering yourself this kind of verbal, loud reassurance will help you soothe the fearful parts of you. And then you can take decisions from the wise, loving, kind part of you. And then number three, uh, this is probably number 10, but establish safety rituals. Safety is very important when you're dealing with fear. Developing rituals that promote safety, such as daily meditation practice, grounding exercises, comforting bedtime routine, that some anything that helps you build that sense of stability and security in the face of fear. As much as you can nurture yourself in the face of fear is how you assure your inner family that you are safe. So self parent your fear with all these different um, ways that I showed you in this video. Self parenting your fear is a profound act of self love. It requires patience, compassion, and willingness to face the parts of yourself that feel most vulnerable. Be with yourself, with that scared inner child when fear shows up. By accepting your fear, listening to what it's telling you, naming the fear, externalizing it, you develop tools to manage it. Externalizing it means don't blend in with your fear and internalize it and sit with it. Say, it's external. I'm fearful because of this, and I'm going to take care of myself in this manner. I'm going to talk to myself in this manner. I'm going to show myself the evidence of why this fear is illogical. Then make plans. Tell them, I'm scared of this. If this happens, this is my plan. If this happens, this is my plan. Overall, I have confidence in the universe. I have faith and trust in my higher power, right? So the key thing is to not suppress, ignore, or repress your fear. Key thing is to verbalize your fear, acknowledge it, name it, own it, love it, show it guidance, show it that you're not the scared little child anymore. Right? Fear will always be a part of our human experience, but it doesn't have to control us. That's the whole point. Trauma will be part of human experience, but it doesn't have to define us. It doesn't have to control us. So by self-parenting your fear, which is a self-love language. Self-parenting your fear is a self-love language that will transform you from feeling fearful, shrinking, hiding, back to inner peace, expansion, speaking up, living your life, right? Each time you face your fear with courage and compassion, you will reinforce the belief that you are strong, worthy, and deserving of love and safety. And that is my prayer for you, that you acknowledge that you are somebody who is deserving of love and safety, that you can handle fear in your life and move forward. I hope this video is helpful to you. Please leave a comment on what was your biggest takeaway from this video.